Hello, everyone, and welcome to my channel. My name is Teresa. I am 46 years old. I have recently been diagnosed with ASD level 1, ADHD, and a bunch of other stuff. So I'm 2 months in, and I'm really kind of rediscovering myself through the ASD ADHD lens. And so actually you are actually going along this journey with me. Today I am discussing what I mean by self-care on the spectrum, and this is part 3. I'll put links for 1 and 2 in the description and in the card. I have also created a playlist so you can go and look back at the previous videos. In today's video, I'm going to be focusing on the power of yes. Now, I can already hear somebody out there be like, hey, Teresa, we just had a video about saying no. Before we get into that, I wanted to highlight today's movement. I am chipping away again at Megan Fairchild's intermediate ballet bar, filmed way back at the beginning of the pandemic. I've been coming back to this particular video again and again because I learned by mimicking movement. Megan Fairchild has a very unique quickness in her movement, and I don't know, it just when I sit there and watch it, it kind of helps ignite those neural pathways in my brain, and it takes a few times, but then I can start to kind of mimic the movement in my body, and so that helps kind of engage. I don't know how to explain it. It just kind of engages the muscles, or it kind of just by watching, I guess, the micro minutia of how she moves, I just pick it up, and it kind of helps me access muscles in my body that I just have no name for. So I guess this is at its core what fuels my movement special interest. So before my train derails any further into my movement special interest discussion, let's go ahead and pivot back into today's real topic, which is the power of yes. In part 1, we discussed my absence of identity. In part 2, we discussed my need for saying no and creating healthy boundaries, as well as the downside of saying yes too much. Now, last week we said, when you say yes to somebody or to somebody else's needs, you're saying no to your own needs. Now, let's flip that. Let's start with the power of saying yes to our needs, paramount to everybody else's. To everybody in therapy out there, what does your therapist say? What's the first thing? I don't know. Every therapist, I think, has said this to me. It's in some form. Put your oxygen mask on first before you can put the oxygen mask on for somebody else. You have to help yourself before you help others. You cannot draw from an empty well. Like, how many metaphors do we need to apply to this? You just have to take care of yourself. Have to. When my first therapist back in 2011 was trying to help me take care of myself, I just had no concept of what that was. My meltdown or shutdown, or whatever you want to call it, was so complete that it mentally erased my entire executive function system. There was no label for this. I had no idea how to explain this to anybody, even to myself. But there is a label and there is a name for it, and it's called Regression of Skills. I completely lost a skill set overnight, and I had no idea how to I just had no idea how I didn't even understand how I could not even function. It was just, people were trying to expect things. They were expecting things from me, and I just had no way of being able to even communicate what was happening to me. I had said no to my needs so many times that I was literally, my body was shutting down and it was going to take care of itself regardless of what I thought. And so that was basically ground zero for the power of yes. The power of yes is saying when you say no to everything else. My body basically said, fuck you, no. No to everybody. No to everybody except for me. I couldn't do anything except for basically eat, sleep, and just all the bodily functions. That's all I could do. And then I had to slowly integrate that foundation with the next step. Indulge me in another writing exercise. I have an English degree after all. We love exercises, but this one is a great one for helping me discover what my greatest priorities are. With a pen, paper, and a timer in hand, I want you to make the timer, set it for 5 minutes. And for 5 minutes, you are not going to let the pen will not leave the paper, and you're just going to constantly write about what your perfect day is, just for 5 minutes. So go ahead and pause the video, and for 5 minutes, I want you to write your perfect day from beginning to end, and just keep on writing it over and over and over again. Don't stop. What I want you to do is I want you to say yes to all of your needs, every sensory need, everything that you need to do to make your day perfect for you. How would your ideal wake up would be, what your ideal breakfast would be, clothes, like how would your work function? So you're basically saying yes to everything that you need. Go ahead and pause the video now. So what's the purpose of this exercise? For me, this exercise revealed who I am and who I am not in the absence of others. This is a very important concept to absorb. In the void of others offers you this tremendous opportunity. In this void, you pour in your identity, your wants, your needs, your fears, all important. Oh, there's my hubs. That is Jeff. He's amazing. He's amazing. He keeps this person going. Speaking of which, I love this combination. I call it the puzzle box. It's like you're going from one leg to the other, and then you're doing a passe releve. It's really good brain food. But my body is like, I don't know. I don't like what you're doing to me, Teresa. So I had to step on the block and do like a Kristen Curry, figure out my hip and then get back and do the next combination. That's kind of how I'm getting through this. So going back to, again, train derailment, but because I just saw my hubs. If you don't fill that void with you, somebody else will fill that void for you. What do I mean by that? Well, I'll answer that. I'm going to start I'm finally ready to start my self-help spiral series. So I'm going to get started on that and how it can be damaging, especially when you're on the spectrum, especially when you're building your identity. So if you identify with this, please give me a like, share, and subscribe. See ya in the next video.